All right, what is going on YouTube? This is one of my YouTube channels. I don't know which one I'm going to post it on. I think it's going to be the sort of like business growth one, because that's something that I really want to focus on, something that I think about every day, talk about every day. Might as well just talk about it with you guys, if that makes sense. If you see me in the same outfit for the next like 5-10 videos, it's because I'm filming them all on the same exact day. And I'm doing that because I'm a very busy man and I really want to put out content, and I really want to, kind of create a community of my own, so that I just have people that I could bounce ideas off of. Because granted, I work with a lot of business people, but not all of them are my friends, and you can't make every single one of your clients your friends, because then they'll start to expect different treatment. So, I want to find other business people out there that I can just communicate on the same level, especially if they're videographers or people trying to build production companies, photographers, anything like that. So I really just want to get into the video. I'm probably not going to make any cuts to it just because I don't have the time, and I want to just put out the content. I don't want to find a way to make me not put it out. And I'm going to be eating this Pop-Tart while I do it. So this video is going to be 3 things that they don't tell you about building a business, because shit has been getting real, Things have been getting super real for me, and it's moving really fast. I'm learning a lot of different things. I'm being taught a lot of different lessons through people, by working with certain people, by doing certain things, learning things with my gear, learning things with client management, delivery, just like running a business. It is extremely hard. So the first thing that I want to talk about, and it's possibly the most important thing to me, is just the fact that you're not going to make everybody happy. It's impossible. It's impossible. You can be the best fucking, excuse my language, but you could be the best videographer, the best photographer. You could be the best plumber. You could be the best real estate agent. You could be the best dentist. You could be the best anything. Somebody is always going to have something to say, something to complain about, something that they're not happy with, something that might be little to you but is important to them. It could just be their personality type. It could be that maybe, like I said, it's not important to you, but it might be important to them. They might not be knowledgeable in something. Say, for instance, you are a videographer and you make a 20-second promo for somebody, and they're like, this is so short. Why isn't this 2 minutes long? You spent the whole day here. And they don't realize, okay, if it's going on social media, your attention span has to be grabbed and maintained throughout the whole video. So a 2-minute video on Instagram isn't going to do as well as a 15, 20, 30-second video on Instagram. Whatever it is, you're not going to make everybody happy. You never will. You never will. For me, for the longest time, I had no complaints with my work, For probably over a year, everybody always gave good feedback and was like, wow, this is amazing, phenomenal. And still to this day, people, people still say that, constantly. I'm always getting, your work is phenomenal. That's how people book me. You see my work, you like it, you get a shoot, and then you're like, wow, you really live up to the work that you post online. But every once in a while, you'll have that person that kind of just, you do your best, you do a good job, and they're just not happy with it. They're never happy with it. You can make as many revisions as you want, and they're never happy with it. Again, it could either be their personality type, or they might have a specific vision in mind that you're not grasping. Maybe they're not able to communicate it. Maybe you're not able to, understand it. And maybe they just aren't aware of the things needed to get the vision that they're looking for. Some people will show me something, right? They'll show me a video that they want me to replicate or, recreate for them. And the video will be a $10,000 video, right? you can tell usually between the difference between $1,000 video and maybe a $10,000, $20,000 video. I can try to explain that to somebody as much as I can. I can explain, okay, we're gonna need this camera package. We're gonna need to rent out these anamorphic lenses, or I'm gonna need to buy them. We're gonna need this amount of crew. We're gonna need somebody outside holding a light, Hollywooding it. We're gonna need scrims and all this different stuff. I could explain it all. As somebody that's trying to build a production company, I have a decent amount of gear, which I'm gonna go over with you guys at some point. But there are certain things that cost a lot of money. And this is actually something that I'm going through right now. I had somebody reach out to me that I was supposed to do a job with like months and months ago. And they were like, hi, I'm ready to do the thing now. And I'm like, okay, like let's do it. My rates have changed significantly, doubled pretty much. But I still want to give you a deal. So I'm going to like only charge you this amount more. And it's literally like pennies. I just wanted them to realize that, I charge more now. So, this is all I'm going to charge you. I'll actually just tell you guys, the original quote was like $300 for like something like real small. It was like a whole project. It was like 4 different parts, like headshots, promo video, brand story, all that stuff. And it was like a little over $1,000. And we were gonna break it up. Each time we did something, it would just be 300. And now for like a photo shoot, I don't charge 300 for a photo shoot. I charge more than that, close to double. And especially because I'm going on location, I'm bringing this 9-foot backdrop. I'm bringing 4 different lights. I'm bringing soft boxes, strip boxes. I'm bringing my camera, of course. I'm using my storage. I have like these SanDisk 4 terabyte SSDs that I have to use. All this stuff costs a lot. And all this stuff is more than $300 worth of, gear. And also my expertise in what I do is worth more than $300. Now, right, I told you, I charge more than that. But I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like say like 400, not because I'm looking for an extra $100. Like, what am I gonna do with that? It's more so they get the understanding that, okay, this person charges a higher rate. Let me just, pay them this little extra money just because, he's giving me a deal still. He just wants to, communicate that. And so when somebody comes back to me and rebuttals to $100 difference in a quote, and mind you, like, this is somebody with a business that moves, a business that has a ton of clients and is very well known. And it's just kind of like, okay, I'm not, there's like a certain almost lack of respect, because the rate is great. The rate is so great. If you guys go to my portfolio website, you'll be like, yeah, you should be charging like over $1,000 for that. So like the rate is great. It's just the fact that, I was explaining this to my mother earlier. Imagine you're selling a home and somebody bids on it and you accept the offer, right? 10 years ago, right? Somebody bids on it and you were selling your home 10 years ago and it never sold, right? And then 10 years later, they say, hey, I'm finally ready to like go through with it and, give the deposit and everything like that. And then you're like, yeah, sure. I mean, the market has changed and now the house is worth $600,000, but since you like bid on it initially, I could do like $400,000 for you. And then they're like, like there's like a certain, it's just frustrating a little bit. And it's not me complaining about it. I just want to communicate that that's something that you might go through, is that there's always going to be people that are nickel and diming you. There's going to be people that are unsatisfied with the work that you create. And I'm going to tell you this, the people that pay the least amount, the people that nickel and dime you, are going to be the most unhappy with the product. I have people that have paid me well over $1,000, $2,000 for a shoot, and they don't ask for any revisions. they don't ask for, they're barely in contact with me. Like I might give an update and they're just like, sounds good, cool. Like I had a client, not one of my clients actually, it's a social media manager's client. And she'll call me sometimes just for like some photos and videos. And they'll talk to me and they'll be like, yeah, like, you know, give us the cash price. So I give them a deal, but it's still like a good rate for me, right? And I deliver it, I don't hear back. You know why? Because they're satisfied with it. They get it and then they're just like, cool, like this is great, this is phenomenal. Because their expectations are like real, they're realistic, you know? Like if they're paying $500-$700 for something, they're kind of like in their frame of mind, it's like, okay, it's either an iPhone or this. This is 10 times better than an iPhone, so I'm happy with it. And I'm not saying that all clients have to expect that, but production is so expensive. It's expensive on my part. I went through my budget, you know, because I actually never have before. I never went through how much I'm spending. I'm spending $1,500 to run my business a month. So, you know, when you put that into perspective, yeah, like these little jobs, one, they take up a lot of my time. Two, I can't delegate a lot of stuff because then I'm actually losing money, right? I was trying to explain to my lady, or not to my lady, but to my mother actually, that if I hire another photographer to do it, they're gonna charge me more than what I'm charging that person. If I hire an editor, it's gonna cost anywhere from $25 to $65 per retouched image. You know, I mean, maybe I could find somebody from like India or the Philippines or some off country like that. But it just starts to become, you know, overwhelming. It starts to get too much and you're not making money, you're spending money. The last job that I did with this client that is, you know, kind of nickeling and diming me, I really didn't make much money. Again, like it was broken down into 300s. I brought a photographer because she wanted photo and video for it. And I had to pay him $200. Like I didn't really make any money. I got Dunkin' Donuts, you know, and I spent hours editing those photos and the videos because he did a shit job, pardon my tongue. He did a terrible job because, you know, he's shy and I'm not gonna say he's new, but it's not his job. He's not up for the money. He's not in it, you know? So he's being shy and not getting close to the actual action. Like he's just kind of, because it was an event, he's not getting close to the action. He's just super far back. So he's shooting, you know, super far back from where the action is. I'm having to crop in so far in Lightroom and then apply denoise and then like do all this different stuff just to get it to look halfway decent. And that's frustrating. And then I'm also working doing the video aspect, which I was sweating bullets that day. And then I have to go home and edit an entire video, not only one video, but two videos, a promo video and an entire length video of the event. And then edit the photos all by myself for $100, basically $400. So that gets frustrating, you know, and that's on me because at that time, I was not at the same point as I am now in business. And I thought that client might bring me more business. Wasn't the case really, but it's okay. It's okay. You know, these are all learning lessons that you kind of just have to go through. You know, you start to add in contract start and end dates because in the contract I only had a start date, no end date. So you have to start to put start and end dates. You have to be very meticulous with what you put in the contract, who you're working with, who you're going to be in contact with, the specified deliverables, how long it's going to take to get a turnaround time, all this different stuff so that you're protected, so that somebody can't come to you and say this and that, like, you know, are you going to honor whatever? Because you already know, like, some people are just petty like that and it can be super frustrating. You always have to have, you know, all your stuff in order, invoicing, receipts, and just all this different stuff, because if you don't, it could bite you in the butt and it's not fun. Second part of owning a business that, people don't tell you about, or that, they might tell you, but they don't instill it in you. Like they'll mention it and be like, yeah, bro, like make sure you're ready for that. And you're like, yeah, and you just kind of like, you F off. But truth be told, one of the biggest parts is taxes and like all your finances. I'm going to make it encompassed in one thing, but taxes. As a business owner, LLC, S Corp, whatever it is, you have to be so on top of it. It is no joke, because the IRS will always get their money. And if they don't, you're going to jail. Unfortunately, I'm not going to lie to you. You're going to jail. Here's why this part is so important. It's because, one, you need to survive, right? You need to be able to be good with your money so that you can pay your bills, live a life. You got rent, or you got, a mortgage. Hopefully, if you're young like me, you can stay with your parents and be in a better position. But if you're not, you're gonna have responsibilities. You might have kids. You might have a lady. You might have, expenses like getting equipment, getting lighting equipment, cameras, lenses, all that stuff. Even if you get the most affordable stuff, it's still super expensive. The FX3 is the affordable cinema camera, and it costs $4,000. Imagine getting that, getting cine lenses, getting even those new anamorphic lenses. Yeah, they're cheaper, but they still cost like $3,000 for a set. If you want to get, first party lenses like the Sony G Masters, those are going to cost you like $2,000. I have one G Master lens and it costs like $1,700, which is crazy. All the different stuff is expensive. And even with that, yeah, you can write that off, but you still have to save money for the government just because they want to cut. So as a business owner, gotta be on top of it. Gotta be on top of it, bro, because if you're not, they're going to get you. You have to make sure that you are super organized with your finances, know exactly how much is coming in and how much is going out. So when I say that, you want to track everything. You want to track, even if it's cash, you might not put it on your, but you want to know how much is coming in, how much you're generating in revenue, because it's just good to know. You want to know how much you're making, if you need to ramp it up, if you're able to be comfortable, how much you're able to invest. Just knowing those numbers is really helpful. And also it's helpful so that you know how much to save for taxes. Because if you're making $100,000, guaranteed, the IRS is going to look for at least, 30, 40,000 of that, So, and look, as business owners, you get taxed the worst. That's why people incentivize all the write-offs and stuff, is because you have to pay the federal government, your state. They got all these other like little taxes that you have to pay as an LLC owner. So it's just, it's difficult. It's hard. It's tiring. It's a lot. So be on top of that. That is something that they don't tell you. And then finally, the last thing that I would say they don't tell you is definitely going to be just the sheer amount of work that you're going to have to put in, To make anything work, you have to put in work, work works. But as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a freelancer, whatever it is, in the beginning, the amount of work that you have to put in is like out of this world. I pretty much am awake for maybe 18, 19 hours out of the day. I get up, I work, I do a shoot maybe. Like I get up, I edit, and then I do a shoot maybe, and then I do some more editing. Like right after I film these videos, I'm gonna go back and edit until I have to go to my shoot later on today. And it's just an all day thing. You're working all day long. And that's why, and it's difficult because you don't quite make enough money to hire people, but like the amount of workload that you have is so much that you need help, or you're gonna be up all day long. And that's where I am. It's like, okay, last month I made a lot of money for me. I made $6,000. And that is around like where you can start to maybe like hire somebody for a couple projects, maybe one or two of them. But it's not enough to like have an employee or have somebody that you're constantly sending all your work to. And, I don't even know where to find one for me personally. I'm sure I could, look it up, but I don't even know where to find one. And so I'm up all day long editing, shooting, and then somehow trying to find time to spend with my lady and make her happy, and then spend time with my mother and just chill out. Sometimes I try to multitask and watch like my show, The Vampire Diaries, while I'm working. Terrible idea, but it's how I get my enjoyment in. And then I haven't been going to the gym at all, but I've started to just wake up even earlier than I already was. So I'm waking up at like 5:30 in the morning just to hit the gym when they open, and then come home and then get back to work, which is kind of insane, but it's a part of the game. But again, something that they don't tell you about. They say that, it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of work, at least for what I'm doing in my industry. Other than that, I'm not going to keep you guys too long. That was pretty much it. 3 things that they don't tell you about building a business. It is tiring and tedious, but, we all know that at the end of the tunnel, it's going to be so worth it, bro. So keep going, keep grinding, get that money, bro.